We are on our way home from Carmel, and if you're not familiar with Carmel, it is near Monterey, and we didn't know this, but there is a military base in Monterey. So while we were in Carmel, a lot of people messaged us and was like, hey, I was stationed in Monterey. I love that area, Carmel. So anyways, that's something we learned while we were taking this road trip. And we're gonna kind of go over what the road trip was like from LA to Carmel. And we wanted to take the scenic route, so we left LA, took the 101, and then went on the PCH, or Pacific Coast Highway, and that's where you can get that beautiful coastal view all the way up into Carmel.
Yeah, so there's several routes you can go from LA to the north, but a lot of people choose to go the Pacific Coast Highway because it's such a scenic highway, and it's considered, one of the world's best scenic views on the coast. So yeah, I was like, I definitely want to go, and I definitely wanted to check out Big Sur. It's been on my bucket list forever. So I was like, let's just take the coast. I know it's going to take a little bit longer, but definitely wanted to do that and see Bixby Bridge, which is one of the most famous stops on that Pacific Coast Highway, or one of the famous stops.
Yeah, so total drive time when we Googled it from LA to Carmel was about 6 hours. But it actually took us almost 8.5 hours, and we were trying to figure out why did it take us so long. We didn't really take long stops. We stopped a few times for gas and water for the dogs. We brought our pups with us, and there was one stop that we took a little bit extra time because there was a great view. And so yeah, we're just going to kind of go through the points on where we stopped, but definitely calculate some more time than 6 hours, because I was a little bit surprised that it took, and we're not slow drivers.
I would say it took 8 hours.
Yeah. So when we left LA, we took the 101. We did hit slight traffic, so that kind of set us back a little bit. Once we passed the traffic, it was very smooth, very scenic. The directions were very straightforward. And we will say that, unfortunately, California does not have great rest stops. So when you see a rest stop, you need to take it.
Yeah.
Especially when you're taking PCH, because they're very limited. And like if you happen to miss a stop like us and then take a different stop that's kind of like not one that was planned, you might end up with a really, really bad bathroom. And expensive gas, and you don't want that. So definitely kind of calculate where you want to stop to buy gas or take a restroom break, because that was something that we were going to stop at our first stop. Crystal had figured out which exit, but I was driving and somehow I missed the stop. So I think it was exit 91 or something like that.
It was around exit 91.
Yeah.
So there was 4 exits that had some gas stations and food exits. So I was like, oh, let's stop by one of these. So there was one stop that had, 2 gas stations, I believe. Still small towns, but at least they were like normal sized gas stations. But we passed those. So then we ended up at exit 91 Evans Road, and it was such a tiny town. It was called Summerland.
Oh yeah, Summerland.
Yeah. It reminded
It's in Santa Barbara.
Yeah. It reminded us of Japan, because we used to go to this water amusement park in Japan called Summerland. Anyway, that's how I remember it, Summerland. But I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like great. It's Summerland. But no, ended up being like the worst gas station stop ever. Well, worst restroom.
Yeah, the gas station was actually cute. It was really old school looking. Hi. Our first bathroom break in the most interesting town.
Yeah. This is the most interesting gas station I stopped by. It's so tiny.
But yeah, so it's one of those bathrooms where you go outside and it's dirty, it's really dim, it's, both male and female can use it, so you know how that is. Usually when the males share with the females, there's just pee everywhere. So it's gross.
Yeah.
So the first stop was a big fail. So after that, we really made it a point to make sure we're paying more attention when we make the next stops. And the second stop, what was the second stop? Was that trying to think.
Was that going to be Ragged Point then?
I think it was Ragged Point. So the next stop, Ragged Point, actually was beautiful, and that is right when you get into the entrance of Big Sur. And it's also, there's an inn there, there's a hotel there. So it's like combined as like this rest stop with this inn. And big grassy area, great for the dogs. Hi, Kuma. Hi, Kuma.
Did you get candy? Yes,
Yeah, good girl.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
The property was amazing. Flowers and chairs, and there's a very, very beautiful viewpoint. So we took a lot of photos there as well.
Yeah, you can actually take a hike down there too. There's like
Yeah.
a trail that you can go down.
There was plenty of parking when we went. It was a pretty like dreary day, so there weren't a lot of people out and about, and it was kind of chilly. So that beautiful location. There actually was places to eat there, but it was closed by the time we got there.
Well, the dining was open.
Oh, was it open?
Yeah, there's
Oh, I
like
thought
a
it was
restaurant. There's
closed.
two kind of places. The left side had a dining restaurant. I saw people in that.
Oh,
Fine.
okay.
But on the right side is kind of like a takeout food area.
Yeah, and
that was closed.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember seeing that closed.
Because we arrived there probably like 6 p.m.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which makes sense why it's closed.
Yeah.
Why there wasn't a lot of people there.
Right.
You will want to take the stop when you get there, because after that it will be a very long, windy, slow ride, because then you're in the mountains, and for the next about almost 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, we'll be just going through the mountains.
Although you will pass by
Yeah.
little cafes. There was like one other gas station, again tiny, so it's not
Yeah.
going to be 24 hours. Oh, did we say that the Ragged Point did have a gas station, but it was super expensive?
We didn't say that.
Okay.
So yeah, there is a gas station at Ragged Point. However, it is super, super expensive. It was like $4 and something, and we're like, no, we're not going to
Yeah,
pay
it
that.
was close to $5 a gallon. And right now in California, it's about, I would say, $3.60 a gallon is the
Yeah,
average.
right now it is.
So yeah, it was over $1 more. So we're like, nope, not getting gas here.
Yeah, so if you have gas like left, definitely skip that one and go to the next one, because
Yeah.
you will hit, I think, two other ones. There's one other one.
I know there's one
One
for
for
sure.
sure.
There's a tiny one
Yes.
in the Big Sur area. And then after that, you won't hit another one until like Carmel, like a big one.
So yeah, so definitely keep in mind of that when you're driving.
So yeah, so we stopped by there, and as Candy said, after that it's just all windy roads for about 2 hours.
Yes.
We thought it would be less than that. But Candy actually was like, wait, is this GPS right? Does it still say like hour and a half? Because we kept on looking at when we were driving, the time went past by super fast, but once we got into the mountains, it kind of like slowed down because we have to go so slow. And on top of that, it was getting dark, and it should have been a lot more light at that time, but it was foggy and it was like really cloudy, gloomy weather. So we had to be more careful driving through these mountains.
Oh, also you will lose reception
Yeah.
for sure. It is, yeah, basically no reception. So if you need directions, it's just one way, but if you are adamant about having, reception, you're not going to get it there. Unfortunately, there's no reception there.
Yeah. And we wanted to make it to Bixby Bridge. So Bixby Bridge is about 20 minutes before Carmel. And I wanted to get there by sunset, which we did, but it was dark.
Yeah, it was dark.
Because it was so cloudy and foggy. I mean, I still think, we got some great pictures. Even in like foggy weather, Bixby Bridge is a very scenic stop.
Look at that.
Look at the view. Isn't this gorgeous, guys? Isn't this gorgeous? Right? Right? Isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth it? So yeah, they have 2 parking spots. One is the main one to the left, and then there's like another one to the right, like uphill a little bit, so you just have to cross the street. But for the most part, everybody was parked on that one side.
Yeah, people take their picture and leave pretty fast, so it wasn't congested or anything.
Not at all. Yeah.
Which I was so glad, because it's such a tiny area and just, one ways, and I'm just like, ooh, if there's no parking, I don't know how are we gonna turn around? Like, it's kind of like tough to turn around in this area.
But they gave me plenty of space, and it was a lot easier than I thought.
Yeah. So overall, yes, the view was amazing, beautiful. I wish we would have left a little bit sooner. That way we could have enjoyed the daylight all the way through the mountains, which we weren't able to do since we didn't think it was going to take that long. So give yourself plenty of time. Even if it says I don't know, if it says 3 hours to get there, maybe put in an extra hour or two. On the other hand, on the way back, it's a little bit different story. We did not take the scenic route, and we did leave, we left at a different time, and the weather was different. It was sunny and bright. We left around 11 when we got to the foot, or the start of Big Sur. That was so beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, we did take some of the scenic way.
Yeah, not all the way. We didn't take PC. We didn't take all of PCH. Yeah. So going back is a little bit different because the part that's the same is Big Sur. The Big Sur part is exactly the same. The only difference was the weather was way better for us, and we had daylight the entire way. Mm-hmm. But once we left the Big Sur area, we didn't take all of PCH. We decided to go inland. And when you go inland, there are more rest areas, there are more gas stations, so you don't have to really calculate as much, I want to say. Yeah, you can relax a little bit more on the drive.
So on the way back, we stopped by more vista points and lookouts. Like, I wanted to do it on the way up, but we just had no time. There's no time for us to stop anywhere except for Bixby Bridge, because that's where I wanted to be.
Dark, so we're like, we can't keep stopping.
Yeah. So I really wanted to make it to Bixby Bridge, so I was like, you know what, we'll just have to skip all this and make sure we get to Bixby Bridge, which we did. So I was like, you know what, on the way back, let's make all those stops that we saw. Like, oh, that's beautiful, that's beautiful. So we did, and I think we made about, 3 to 4 stops in the Big Sur area. So beautiful. It's just so gorgeous. You have to make stops there.
Yeah, you'll be missing out if you don't.
Yeah, for sure. And like, it was such a perfect day for it too. I mean, it's such a stark difference from when we came in and leaving, because when we came in, it was so dark and gloomy, cloudy and misty. And then when we came back, it was all sunny, bright blue skies.
Yeah.
They had some clouds, but some cool clouds that made it even more scenic, like over the mountains.
And the watercolor too, like there was like separate, like some was like blue, some was aqua blue. It was like a mixture of colors in the water. That was really pretty too.
And the waves crashing against the rocks. Oh, it was just like, it was so dreamy. And then we, what did we do? Oh, we saw the elephant seals at San Simeon is where they're located at. And I didn't even know they had a point where you can look at seals here. But apparently, seeing elephant seals in its natural habitat is pretty rare. So it's special to see it in that area. So I would definitely do that.
So we feel special.
Yeah.
If you actually want to see seals up close and doing more than lounging, definitely go to La Jolla, California.
Yes.
Because that is an amazing spot to see seals up close in their natural habitat as well.
So as Candy mentioned, we didn't totally take the scenic route back. We took some of it because you have to anyway. So we went through Big Sur, San Simeon, and then we made a left into, I believe it was 47?
46.
And we ended up in 46. So on that road, it's a highway, we saw this gas station that had this huge James Dean cardboard. So we're like, let's just stop here for gas.
Yeah.
Or the James Dean
gas
station.
Yeah, Shell gas station. I wonder if there's like James Dean stuff you can buy in there.
So we looked it up later, and it's called Blackwell's Corner, James Dean's last stop. And when I went to the bathroom in there, and I came out, there's a wall plastered with like all these like James Dean like newspaper articles and magazine clippings. And I wanted to kind of get the history of it. I'm like, oh, this is probably why there's a big James Dean outside. But the thing was not even like in chronological order. So I'm just reading like different articles, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna look this up later because the doggies are in the car and it's 101 degrees outside. Well, Krista was there, so they're not like, dying in the car, but I was like, I better get back to the car.
So yeah, it was a great road trip. We learned some lessons, find some gas stations early, and don't go to Evans Road or Summerland.
Calculate more time
to go to, because the Big Sur area takes a while to go through.
Yes, it took us a little over 2 hours to get through Big Sur.
Oh, go look at the elephant seals because they're rare to see in their natural habitat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great scenic road to take. I highly recommend it. Take some time on Big Sur if you can. I unfortunately couldn't leave earlier than I wanted to leave earlier, but I couldn't because I was still working and I didn't get off work until 1:30ish. So that's why I had to leave a little later. But
Yeah.
if you can leave early, I definitely would, and spend, I don't know, like 10 hours on that drive because there's just so many gorgeous views.
I know, gorgeous views. And you know what? Even this drive back inland, it's actually pretty.
It is, yeah. I've been
It's
enjoying
not a bad
it.
drive
Yeah.
back inland. I mean, of course, PCH is like way prettier, but this drive too is not that bad if you're in a rush.
Yeah, I mean, it's I love the open landscape. You can still see mountains in the background.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's very chill, which I like.
Yeah, I know you like that.
So yeah, I guess that's about it.
That's about it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, bye.